So, if you can, tell us a little bit about yourself outside of uni, if you're comfortable talking about that.
Uh, Hi, my name is I go by Snappy online. I'm currently a third year in college at SoCal, UC San Diego, and I play a bunch of gotcha games.
That actually leads straight into the next question I was going to ask you. What would you consider to be your hobbies? Gotcha obviously is one of them, but I feel like you probably
Uh,
do more than that too, right?
Gotcha. I watch some anime, play other video games besides uni and mobile games, and I like reading light novels.
Yeah, same. I'm a big light novel reader myself, so that's cool. So how did you get into Under Night, and how long have you been playing?
I got into Under Night when I picked up BB Tag when I started college because my friend picked it up, and then I saw the uni characters and thought that kind of looked cool. And then I was watching the Evo Grand Finals for BB Tag, but one of the competitors was unable to play because he was still in the uni bracket. So I decided to watch the Anime Evo Uni Grand Finals where I saw Squish there as well. I saw them play Uni for the first time, and I thought this game looks really cool. So I decided to pick it up and try it out. And I've been playing for um, I'd say like over 2 years now.
Oh, is it over 2 years? Because you saw it
I
at
bought it. I bought
Evo.
it when ST came out to PC.
So that was early
Or,
2018. I do remember that.
yeah, it was around September 2018
Yeah, so
when it
fresh
came to
off.
PC.
Yeah, fresh off of Evo. I believe that was Squish versus. His name starts with an H, but he was like the number 2 or 3 ranked Merkava in arcades.
Yeah, I remember he played Merkava, and then he played Gordo, Ruby, and BB Tag.
Yeah, Ruby Gordo. That was year one BB tag too. Sick. So, what in particular do you like the most about Under Night?
Um, I guess it's like I like the RPS kind of mind games where you like and the layers, I guess, playing against a different opponent, trying to feel each other out, read their option. It feels really good to do a read and then have it work out.
Yeah, and there are multiple like types of reads that you can make. I know one of the things that I won't spoil too much ahead of time, but some of the people in your group are very keen on paying attention to the grid and Vorpal cycle, and that's like another kind of mini game, mind game in the midst of just fighting characters. I know you guys are really good at that. So that seems like a benefit. It seems like you also tend to like that mind game too, huh?
Yeah, really like calling out things such as them playing for the grid cycle and then grid breaking them feels really good.
Yeah, it's like a real like ha gotcha moment. Like you thought you were smart playing to the cycle at the end, but I got you, and now I get to run my offense like almost for free, not quite, because you do have characters with like invincible reversals that aren't meter tied and things like that.
I think my favorite is like when playing someone and I like get them to respect me. I can go for really greedy like pressure setups and mix-ups, and when it hits, I feel so good because I'm like, oh, that really shouldn't have worked, but it did. I'm
Yeah,
so nice.
I'm so sick, yo. So, leading kind of down that path, what's been a moment in Undernight that you either look back on or talk fondly about? This could be like, I hit so and so with this mix up, or like me and my homies did this. What's a specific, like, notable moment for you playing Undernight?
It was during Anime Ascension where prior to that, when I was, I'd say, less experienced, I was pretty scared to mash during pressure because uh, when I see footage and I see other people play, it's like, oh man, these staggers are so powerful. Why would anyone just mash during a block string and counter hit? But then, like, as I played more, I realized that other people were being greedy. And it was during one game in Anime Ascension. It was the last game for me when I was in losers, and I needed to win to get into top 16. It was like they teched my throw, and I just mashed, and it worked out, and I was able to win off that to get into top 16. It was against Burger Time, and I was really nervous because I really looked up to her back then. She's like in SoCal too. Like all my friends, we'd all like watch our top West Coast players, and it was like really nerve-wracking to play against a pro, and being able to like trust my instinct and mash and have it work out just felt really nice. And I thought to myself, I guess sometimes you really gotta press a button.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, I have a saying that I like to say. Sometimes you gotta let them know, you know. Like, even though I'm -8 or whatever, if you want to do something like dash up on my throw tech, like, know that I'm just not gonna sit there. So that was Anime Ascension 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was this year's Anime Ascension. Yeah. Burger Time is really strong too. You know, I had lost to her at Climax of Night in Winter Side going into top 16. The year before, it's kind of weird to say that now, right? Because 2020 is almost over. But yeah, like I had lost to her last month. So to see someone a little bit less experienced, you know, because I've been playing for a long time, make the jump and be the player, you know, the quality of Burger Time is impressive. Yeah, it's really sick. So we've kind of talked around it a little bit, but who is your main character and why did you choose them?
My main is Chaos. I initially made Hyde when I first started because I played him in BB Tag, but his combos were so radically different that I just couldn't get used to it. So as I was looking, well, I was still like, my main game was still BB Tag, but Uni was interesting to me, so I was just going on YouTube and looking up things. And I saw like a Chronicle mode playthrough, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Uni has a story mode. Because I liked visual novels, so I was going through it. I heard Chaos's, and his voice was just Kirito, and I thought, oh, that's kind of funny. So I just decided to ban him because his voice was Kirito for a meme with me and my friends. And it turned out that he was pretty fun to play, so I just stuck with him.
Yeah, he's quite a cool character. I like some of the new stuff in this version. I know like the sandwich meta got pretty popular in the summer. I can't say if it's transitioned out or not, because like, again, pandemic means that we don't get to test a whole lot of things offline yet. But his development as a character has been interesting. My roommate plays Chaos, Silmarion, so I've gotten a lot of, you know, Chaos experience along with your teammate, you know, Gossada. He and I cast, of course, and then I play him from time to time. But you mentioned that you played Hyde a little bit before, because you played him in BB Tag, and even though it's pretty drastically different, do you have him as a sub character, or if not him, do you have any other sub characters?
Yes, so in BB Tag I played Hyde, and then I picked up Gordo. Post nerf, unfortunately, but he was still really fun. And so I decided, watching him play in Uni is like completely different. Instead of just like big button, like long pressure strings, it's all about the asim. And I thought, oh, that's perfect for mind games. So I subbed Gordo and then Hyde. And then towards the end of ST, beginning of Clear, I picked up Nanase and Wagner as subs as well, because I think they're both fun as well. More like rush down compared to Chaos.
Yeah, I do remember seeing you guys, at least in PC Net Play, talk about your Wagner. I didn't know you picked up Nanase, because Nanase is my tertiary, like my official tertiary. And I've been playing her since EL even. Like all of my characters actually come from EL, even though people know me primarily for Akatsuki. Were you one of the group that was also picking up Byakuya for a little bit?
I played around with him a little bit in ST, but that was just to learn what he did because I wasn't very good playing against him. So it was just like, I'll pick up a character for a bit, learn what they do to see if I can bolster my matchup experience versus them. That's what I usually do for characters I didn't know.
Yeah. I've definitely done that in problematic matchups for me, like Batista and Yuzu. I've not enough to really like play against other people, but at least to understand kind of the sort of things to look for. But so I think you mentioned mind games and things like that. But what would you consider to be your playstyle in Under Night, and how do you think you express yourself in the game?
Playstyle. It's pretty greedy rushdown. I just like zoning with chaos. I think it's kind of lame. Sometimes you have to do it, but I don't know. I just want to go in and then just run mix-ups and pressure and redash in over and over again. See if they like bite on the wrong mix-up. Or I really like overloading their mental stack. Like present them with so many options they have to guess wrong or just let me keep my turn. That's why I picked up Nanase too, because I think she does that really well. And playing against two combo, and my friend also made Nanase, I think made me see that she really fits my playstyle too.
Yeah, Nanase is really strong and one of the characters that I think is relatively underrepresented, at least at the top level of the game in North America. Perhaps because like you have to have such a strong knowledge of the system, I think, to really utilize her well. Like she's got some really cheap stuff. There's the 50/50 that players have gotten more akin to like do. I don't know if people have gotten used to dealing with it, but when I play Nanase players, I see them usually go for it. But yeah, she's a super interesting character, and I think Chaos in your style is also really interesting because like that character basically just puts plus frames on you. It's like, okay, here's plus frames, and now do you know what to do, or am I going to run my stuff? It's a very, I think, refreshing playstyle for a character, considered, I think, typically to be kind of a zoning sort of character too. So
Yeah. I think my playstyle is rushdown. So like Seth was fun when I messed around with him, but I guess I started too much with chaos, and I think the option to zone is like cool, but if given, I just rush down all day with him.
So what matchup do you think is your best matchup? I guess maybe with Chaos, but if that blends into other characters too, and what makes you think that this is your best matchup?
Best matchup.
Not necessarily your character, like my character beats this character because blah blah blah, but like I personally think I'm really strong at this matchup because that kind of thinking.
I think personally, I think I'm strong against the Hyde matchup the best. It's because I sub him and I play against him a lot, so I think I understand really what he's trying to do. I think also because Nanase and Chaos are easily able to call out greedy fireball resets, which makes it kind of easy to keep them on their toes.
On the other end, what matchup do you think that you struggle against the most? Like maybe it's a matchup you just kind of bang your head against, and why is that?
I think I struggle the most against it's either Seth or Gordo, but I'd say it's Seth probably more. I think it's because his air mobility is really annoying to deal with as Chaos, and his buttons and frame data, I feel like, are just so oppressive. I just think to myself, if I don't like make snap-second decisions, it's already too late, and I already gave up my turn. I have to hold his mix-ups even more, and I just I don't think I'm good enough to be able to react fast enough or make the correct decisions when I'm being overwhelmed.
Yeah, he definitely can do that. Like, he's kind of particular with, I think, how he structures his offense, but he's layering, like, okay, he can always go back to 2C no cancel, 2C, delay DP, or, with CS and things like that. Like there are a lot of things that you have to pay attention to, and his frame data is all fast. He catches jump with like 3C and 5A like crazy, so you can't even jump out of the pressure. It's difficult. So I empathize with you there, and you have Wingod dude over on that side of the country too, so that's even more daunting. You know,
he always bullies me,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Extremely strong. So do you think that you have any rivals? And if so, why do you consider them to be a rival of yours?
Rivals. Currently, like back then, I could probably list a few names, but currently, most of my friends have stopped playing Uni due to the netcode. So I can't. I guess right now I can't say I have any rivals.
Okay. Well, what about rivals
No one
from people that you were playing more actively when the game was more alive?
I'd say my friend Knots was a pretty good rival. We actually pre-COVID, when I was living on campus, he lived close by, and then we would always go to locals together. We'd like usually meet in grand finals, and he would always beat me like 9 out of 10 times. So I was just trying to learn how to beat him, learn how to play better against Wagner. Lotsum was also a good friend of mine. It was just really annoying to play against Merkava with his giant buttons, so I was just always hitting him up for games to learn.
Yeah, Merkava Chaos, I remember seeing, is a bit of a tricky matchup too. It's kind of hard to...
Dive kicks too annoying.
Yeah, dive kicks super strong. Okay.
I'd call Wingod dude a rival, but it's just he bullies me, and I just try not to get annihilated.
Yeah, I have that as well. You know, now that he's back on our side of the country again, Redblade is like that for me. Foxev obviously is like that for me too. You know, I consider them my rivals, and you know, I've pushed them in tournament and stuff like that. But our casual games are pretty in their favor for now. I always say, for now. But who are some of the players that you would consider to be on your radar? Now, this could be like opponents that you want to fight in the future, maybe post-COVID or anything, or like players now that you watch or play online that you consider to be underrated. Who are some players like that, if you have any?
In the future, I'd like to play more against Silent and Masoma. Silent was PS4 only, so I never got to net play him until like recently. Although finals, I haven't really played him a lot. And Masoma, I didn't net play that much when I net played, but during Redblade's thing, I lost to him, and then I lost to him in an exhibition afterwards again. But I feel like I could eventually reach their level.
Yeah, Silent is someone that I consider a rival. I was pretty glad to get my revenge on him at Climax of Night after he ran me 2 money matches at EVO. I lost $10 to him, but I took him out in the bracket in pools there. And then Masoma, I actually got to play against him for the first time also at Climax, but it was in some casuals. This was, I think, pre-day 2 start. So like before top 16, it was just me and Squish kind of talking about how to approach Byakuya, because we had some different opinions about it. He ended up taking that casual set, I think 3-2 over me. And I lost to Psychotic, who is a rival of mine, a game before I would have fought him in loser side top 16. So Masoma is another player I've definitely been looking toward. He's gotten so strong so fast, and he's young. It's crazy. All you guys are so young. But do you have any players that you find inspire your play, or do you have players that you look up to? I think you mentioned brkrdave before.
Let's see. Well, back when he still played, I thought Squish was really sick. Just just played so fast and just made his decisions so easily. Like it was like the right option. Win God Dude is also I look up to because like we talk a lot about uni, I guess sometimes, and then like his philosophy on the game pretty interesting to listen to. Sploogie is also like back when he played, someone I really looked up to was like the Seth Overlords, but he was really helpful to me, like, and new players just helped us learn the game. So they're people I looked up to, and I hope that I can help newer players like they did.
Yeah, Squish and I, because Squish is a person whose back I've basically kind of chased, inadvertently or intentionally, just by playing Akatsuki at, somewhat of a high level or whatever, right? So, watching him and like talking to him has been really useful for me, like through COVID. So even though he's not active, you can generally talk to him about the game and stuff like that. So I've been bouncing ideas off of him. Win God Dude is a player that, I find extremely impressive. He's like one of the candidates for the strongest player in North America to me. And just watching him is like amazing. I got to talk to him a little bit at Raj last year, where he beat me in 2 sets to win that tournament. But yeah, like there's so many crazy, like talented players that very easy to look up to, I think. But so we've basically lost, a year because of COVID-19. But are there any things that you have done to like maintain whatever interest you have in uni, through the pandemic?
Well, though I play less often now, I still like try to play every now and then when I get the urge, and it's uh a little sad, but a little refreshing to see that the people looking for games on netplay are all fresh new faces, that they're all willing to go through this netcode to try and learn the game. Right? And when I watch like streams of like netplay tournaments and I just see these new players I've never heard of, I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. These guys are trying to learn the game and they're playing, asking questions in character channels. So I think that like keeps me motivated enough to not give up uni and just keep playing.
As a person who's kind of watched through a couple cycles, because I started in EL and we had people falling out like before we thought like would we get ST, would we not, and then ST brought like a bunch of people, kind of like the second generation. I guess you guys, players like you and Silent, I think too, are kind of second generation of sorts. Seeing everybody that came on during the Evo announcement and all of the top talent that came on from there was something really cool. And to hear you talk about like another generation, like people that came on during Clear, like all of these people grinding is like been really cool. That's one of the things that helps me maintain my interest in Night too. Kind of in that same vein, do you have any goals that you're personally working towards currently in uni? It could be like, I don't know, preparing to teach a new player, or like learning more about your character. Do you have anything like that?
I guess eventually I'd like to make. Oh, I think the people I respect the most are the people who make resources for the game, for either for characters, for system mechanics. So I think eventually I'd like to get good enough and then make resources for chaos so that new players can learn the character more easily. Because when I joined, there was like less resources than there were now. So, but the resources that were there were extremely helpful, and the people that were there in character channels were helpful. So I kind of want to be a part of that too one day.
I definitely get that. I've tried to do my best to help with Akatsuki development, and some of the other people who've done things like update the wiki and character pages there have been fantastic. Like we have a great series of guides for people. I kind of think that like sometimes we have, I think, pretty good beginner resources, but like the intermediate resources are kind of obtuse. So that's a kind of area that I would like to continue to help towards as well. But I think we basically reached the end of where we're at. So if you can give us some places to see your content or to follow you on Twitter or social media, feel free to do that now.
I only have like a few VODs of me playing, and they're only on netplay from the beginning of Clear on my YouTube channel, and my Twitter is Snappy Hui148, and I don't really have a lot of resources on it. Well, soon trademark.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll start making resources, but other than that, I just use Twitter to browse fan art.
Yeah. Do you use I think you mentioned your YouTube channel, but do you stream on Twitch at all or anything like that?
No, I have one and I tried to before, but I'm pretty nervous whenever I'm on stream or like put in the spotlight like that. So I'm not sure if I'm fit for streaming, but if people were interested, maybe I'd stream.
Okay. And then what is your YouTube? Like if somebody wanted to search your VODs from, early Clear, what's the name of your channel?
My channel is the same name as my Twitter at Snappy Hui148, which is Snappy and then my name and then just 3 numbers.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I'm glad that you took some of the time out of your, well, maybe not so busy now since you finished with finals, but of your personal time to come and talk to me today. I appreciate it.
It was no big deal. I enjoyed this.